Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Kyra and today we are talking about my tippy top 5 high-end makeup products. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Or if you are new to this series, every other week I pick a top 5 products to bring to you, share with you, so on. I have done top 5 drugstore products in my last video, and today I am following up with my top 5 high-end, and you guessed it, the next video will be my top 5 luxury makeup products. And starting with the last video, I did go ahead and do a get ready with me, including my tippy top 5 as well as some of my other favorite drugstore makeup products. So let's go ahead and talk about my high-end favorites. I'm just going to go through in the order that I would apply these products. Starting out with bronzer, it is the Milk Makeup Matte Bronzer Stick. This is in the shade Baked. I really like this. The thing I like most about this formula is that it makes cream bronzer easy, because it does dry down completely, and it looks pretty orange when you swatch it out, but the more you blend it out in a sheer application as you would with a bronzer, I feel like it's closer, it's like warm neutral, if you will. It's a really beautiful shade. I think it would work for a lot of people, especially based on how far you do diffuse that product. And like I said, I love that it dries down. A lot of cream products can remain a little bit tacky, or dewy is a favorite word that people like to use for cream products. But this one actually does dry down completely, not dry, but like set completely, like a foundation or something else that would set completely. And I really like that, because a lot of cream products I feel like I'm not going to be able to wear during the summer. This thing stays in place all day long, just as well, if not way better, than my powder bronzers. So this is a real win for me. I like to apply it all kinds of ways. Sometimes I draw it straight on and I'll go in with a beauty sponge. A lot of times I will take this, do a fiber brush from Delium Tools, pick up the product directly and go in like that, or draw it on and diffuse it with this brush. So I think you can apply this just about anyway. I think you could absolutely shear it out with your fingers like I did right here. So definitely top 5. Next on the list, you knew I had to include a blush. I am a fiend for all things blush, palettes, singles, creams, powder, cream to powder. But today there was only one formula that I could mention that is just a top product. I would love to have them all, and while I love blush, I rarely say that about a line of blushes. And for me, it is the Clinique Cheek Pops. I have 5 different shades here. I have Fig Pop. And this was my very first, this is what started the obsession. This is literally my favorite color of blush. This is it right here. It's the perfect fig color. Like, it's literally the color of the inside of a fig. But you know, you might also describe it as a terracotta shade leaning a little bit more red. My most recent purchase in the Cheek Pop line is Melon Pop. I just had to have this. Isn't this the most gorgeous shade? I don't know why I always hold blush up to my cheeks, but I do. This is it right here. You can see it looks pretty darn close to the one below it. But this is beautiful. It's just the perfect bright blush in between like a coral and a pink, and I love it. And then for Christmas this year, I did pick up this little cheek palette. It's the Cheek Pop palette from Clinique. Really pretty, like glittery packaging, and you get 3 cheek pops in here. Unfortunately, they are not labeled. I will try to put them on the screen here if I can find them. I know this one is Cola Pop, but I'm not sure on these two. But Here is the pinky one, which is very similar to the melon one. And then the orangey, I think it's like, this is sherbet. Who am I? This is like an orange sorbet color, is it not? And then of course there's Cola Pop just rocking on with her bad self here at the bottom. Very, very, very light hand with that one. In fact, if I can use a duo fiber to like further diffuse it, I absolutely do. The reason I love this is you're gonna see on the back of my hand, while there's not a single speck of shimmer in any of these blushes, they are very luminous. Look at that top one there. They're very luminous. They meld into the skin to where it looks like you're just naturally flushed, which is generally what I'm going for. I like different colors of blush, but I love it when it just fades into the skin to where it looks very natural. I do have a little bit of the pink one on the apples of my cheek, but I also have another blush on as well. Curiouser. Now, where the challenge on this top 5 truly came in was actually trying to discern between drugstore, high-end, and luxury. There was a few I felt like kind of bordered either way, but these two formulas of eyeshadow are 100% favorites. Have been on my channel for a long time. I talk endlessly about these two brands of eyeshadows in any kind of favorites video. So I'm gonna start with my all-time favorite. My all-time favorite high-end eyeshadow formula is Persona Cosmetics. I haven't gotten to use my Identity 2 palette as much yet, but this one I'm like ready to hit pan on at least 3 shades. I'm about to hit pan on this shade Bombshell, this shade Chic, and also this creamy metallic up top called Sassy. But this, it's so good. I can't even. Like, this is that shade Bombshell. Look at that. It's like liquid metal, and I barely touch my finger into the pan. Like, I need a backup of this palette. I do. I never ever in my life thought I would say that I need a backup from a palette, but this is it. I love this palette. And the mattes, I love a good like purple accent with my brown eyes. The mattes are just as high quality. Look at that. Look at it. In fact, this is one of my favorite combinations. I love that plum shade with the sort of greeny, goldy goodness of the shade Bombshell. And then coming into Identity 2, you have beautiful colors here. So far, my favorites are this like denim blue metallic right here. And then this really interesting like peachy duochrome shade. Oh, look at that. The peach one's very hard to see. Sorry about that. But look at that blue shadow. They're thick, but they're light. They're like immediate opacity from the shimmers. Beautiful but buildable coverage with the mattes. Coverage in terms of the opacity. I mean, you can see in that purple there. It's just stunning. They are so smooth. I don't even want to use the word buttery because so many people are going to be like, yeah, we always hear buttery. I also really like this raspberry shade right here called Empowered. I could swatch all of these. Look at that. So pretty. In fact, if you want to know a little secret, both of these palettes will be in my 1K giveaway when I get there.
Man, these whites are kind of soapy today.
To me, this is the best eyeshadow formula there is. Hands down, period. I hope she continues making these Identity palettes. I love that the names are empowering to women, like Chic, Bombshell, Bossy, Fearless, and let's see, in this one, Independent, Driven, Unique. I love that Unique is this yellow right here. Just, it's Beyond Compare, coming soon, if not this week. 7 looks with the Persona Identity 1 and 2. So I just thought it would be fun to combine those 2 palettes together and see what kind of looks we could come up with. Second eyeshadow formula that I think is absolutely fantastic is the Lorac formula. I have quite a few palettes here. Starting with these Lorac and Rachel Zoe little palettes. Overall, I felt like these were kind of a bummer because I don't care for their pressed glitter formula in these 2 palettes, but the rest of the shades are still just as gorgeous and just as wonderful as the other palettes. So this is Golden Eyes, a beautiful like coppery orange shade. And then from this palette, which is Effortless Glamour, and my favorite of the 2, have this shade right here. Looks a little chunky, but it is so pretty. This is like the colors inside of an opal. It's not probably going to show up the best on camera, but you can definitely see the reflect there. And it does. It's like the whole shadow is comprised of teeny tiny bits of metallic pigment, and they make up what the inside of an opal looks like, and opal is my favorite stone. Least favorite, but still a brilliant palette in my Lorac collection is the Ocean Sunset palette. It looks like this. Isn't that beautiful? I love this purple, this darker purple here called Sea Urchin. Definitely a cool tone purple, more of a satin than a metallic, but you can see just so smooth. And these are very lightweight. These don't feel quite as thick and tenacious as the Persona formula, but they're every bit of as good. Like their mattes, definitely can't not talk about the mattes. The easiest mattes possible to blend. Most user-friendly formula in my opinion, of course. My beloved, I'm going to take these out of order because the last 2 are also newer to my collection, but my beloved 2018 Pan That Palette Lorac Mega Pro 2. I love these palettes, these big Mega Pro palettes. I want all 4, and I really sincerely hope that they continue to make these. I do have Pan on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shades in the palette. I thought I had 6, but apparently not. Anywho, favorite shades in this palette, Olivine right here, and also Prosecco right here, which I have Pan on. This is just similar to that Bombshell shade from Persona Cosmetics. Sorry Lorac, but Persona kind of nailed it just ever so slightly more. You can see the shine on those. I kind of blended Prosecco out a little too far, but just beautiful. I love Lorac shadows. And the one thing that I think needs to be noted about Lorac shadows is if you struggle with texture on your eyelids with eyeshadows, these are your answer. They almost blur texture, if anything, in my opinion. I know that's a big thing to say. I really mean it. I think they're amazing. Also, Lorac Luxe Diamond palette, really, really stunning. I love this shade called Radiant right here. And I also really love this mauve-y shade called Fifth Avenue. That would make a pretty look, wouldn't it? Look at me being a YouTuber and stuff. I don't know how well, yeah, I mean, just look at the shine on that. Absolutely stunning. Let's do one more. I think this shade right here, Extravagant, is so unique. It has like a brown base with a really strong gold reflect. Oh, so pretty. Would be a beautiful one shadow look. I'm trying to keep my clothes clean. It is Valentine's when I am filming this, and I do have a hot date tonight. All right. So yes, Luxe Diamond. This is a neutral lover's dream, and you do have a little pop of red down here. But overall, I mean, this is a wonderful neutral palette, especially if you like shiny, sparkly things. This was really a poor decision on Lorac's part in terms of the color packaging and the fact that it's that soft matte finish that like attracts fingerprints. But this is my most recent purchase in the Lorac line. This is Mega Pro 4. This is the most recent Mega Pro that they had created. I picked mine up at Marshall's for $15. And I really like this. This is a really beautiful pastel palette for sure. And these are super soft. That is one thing about Lorac shadows. You do want to be a little bit careful because they are very, very soft. So this is Light Sage, this is Moss, and this is Fairy Tale. You can see even that light pastel just really shows up. So this is Fairy Tale and this is Moss. Just look at that. Oh, is that not? I don't know why we don't hear more about Lorac, if I'm being honest. I really don't. I know they're not putting out the most exciting, colorful palettes that we've ever seen, but they do have a phenomenal formula. And I feel like I hear a lot of people talking about shadows that emphasize texture, and these don't. So I don't know. I think they're fabulous. That's all I can say. So I do have 6 Lorac palettes. I did have a 7th one, California Dreaming. That just really wasn't my color story, and I didn't get enough use out of it to keep it. So I did pass that on to my bestie, I think. Last but not least, for lips, my favorite high-end formula, and this is the one I kind of struggled with. I feel like this brand is high-end versus luxury. You might disagree, but I did do my best. And they are the NARS Velvet Matte Lip Pencils. I cannot remember if it's lip pencils or lip crayons, but it's pencils. And I have these 5 shades right here. I actually have a backup of this shade. This is my signature lip color. It's called Let's Go Crazy, which of course is a Prince song, and I just love this color. I think it's so pretty. I feel really confident wearing it. Oh, I have another one. I do have 6. Here's a really dark vampy one. This is in my Shop My Stash this month, and it's called Damned, and it's really, really pretty. But this is definitely a pencil form. You sharpen these with a sharp pencil sharpener. This is the shade Bahama. But these are just really, really comfortable. It's very, very thin formula, so you could wear it at a sheer opacity or you can build it up. I think they're very long wearing. There's Bahama there, kind of a cooler toned rose. I also have this shade Dance Fever, which is my newest one, and it is a very brownie nude right here. And then probably my favorite, other than my signature color, is Dulce Vita. I know Emily Noel is really into this one as well. And it's a very, I don't know, she describes it as a rose. I would say it's somewhere in between a rose and a terracotta shade. I feel like it has a little bit more of an orange or a warmth to it than just a straight up rose. And then last but not least is Walkery. Where are we going to put that one? Over here. And this is probably what I would call a real true terracotta shade. So there are all the colors. I think they're different enough. I really love this formula. I can't get over it. Every time I see one up for free on Sephora or whatever, I like to pick them up because this is, without a doubt, even over the Matte Revolution formula from Charlotte Tilbury, which is high-end, which is luxury, I like this matte formula better. It's comfortable, it's thin, it's long wearing, it does reapply over itself really beautifully, And I also like the pencil form. I don't know where everybody else stands on the crayon pencil lip product train, but I really like them personally. I find I'm less likely to need a lip liner when I'm using something like this. And if I can cut out a step in my routine, why not? And that is it. Those are my tippy top 5 high-end makeup products. Stay tuned for Friday when I do a get ready with me using all of these products, maybe not all of the palettes, but I'll try my best. And some more of my favorite high-end products, which I'll be sure to talk about then. And I hope you guys had a happy Valentine's Day. When you're seeing this, it's the next week. But today's Valentine's for me. I'm excited to have dinner out with my hubby, and maybe I'll tell you on Friday how that went. Whoop, whoop. Thank you so much for watching this video today. If you did like while you were watching, I hope you'll consider hitting that thumbs up button. It really helps me out here on the BeauTube, and subscribing before you leave. With all of that said, I hope all of your makeup days are absolutely beautiful, tippy top favorite makeup days, and I will see you in my next video real soon.